Ladies and gentlemen, today for the first time ever, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un met in public. They attended China's largest ever military parade to mark 80 years since China's victory over Japan in World War II. The images clearly send yet another message of defiance to the United States of America after Tianjin from Tiananmen Square. And the message did reach Donald Trump. Watching from Washington, he vented his frustration in a post laced with sarcasm. He accused the leaders from China, Russia and North Korea of conspiring against the US. Then he went on to declare, the world cannot survive without America.
Because without the United States, everything in the world would die. It's true. It's so powerful. It's so big. And I made it really big in the first 4 years. Then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did. But we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariffs.
Now you may be wondering why we are talking about an event where Indian Prime Minister was not even present. By quoting China at the SCO summit but skipping the military parade, despite being extended an invitation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done a fine balancing act. And later on the show, I will speak to a top political economist, Edward Price, someone who understands both the strategic and the financial aspects of geopolitics to understand the strategy behind this. But clearly, at a time when Trump is accusing India of a one-sided trade relationship, India is keeping its option open in the new geopolitical situation.
No, we get along with India very well, but India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship. Only now since I came along, and because of the power that we have with tariffs, India was charging us tremendous tariffs, about the highest in the world. They were about the highest in the world.
While India will continue to have more and more relations with countries around the world, strengthen our friendships with all countries. As we continue to have newer trading arrangements, lots have happened, lots more to go. But all of the US, we are in dialogue with them for a bilateral trade agreement.
In just the last 48 hours, Trump has seen several reality checks for his unchecked tax rampage. Most of his sweeping tariffs have been declared illegal by the US Federal Appeals Court. Finland President Alexander Stubb, who is also Trump's golfing buddy, has warned the United States President that he risks losing the game to the SCO if he doesn't really adopt a more respectful approach when it comes to a foreign policy in the global south, especially with India. Several top voices, including American representatives and former NSAs, have blamed Trump for single-handedly destroying decades of old ties with India. And now a chief economist at credit rating agency Moody's predicts that the country is on the edge of recession as Trump's tariffs are hurting not so much India, but American companies and their profits, isn't it?
Co-chair of the U.S.-India caucus, I want to sound the 5-alarm fire on what Donald Trump is doing to destroy the U.S.-India partnership. He's undermining 30 years of bipartisan work to strengthen the U.S.-India alliance.
The whole world might be faulting Trump, but guess who believes his version? Tamil Nadu Chief Minister MK Stalin, currently on a trip to Europe. Stalin says, and I'm quoting him verbatim, "How is it fair that for the sake of providing cheap Russian crude oil to oil refineries in Gujarat, you allow our exporters who create thousands of job opportunities to languish?" Now, the angst is justified. 31% of Tamil Nadu's exports go to the United States, and 50% tariff means 12,000 crores in losses and job losses for the 9 lakh strong workforce. Enough for any chief minister to worry. But why become parochial and drag Gujarat versus Tamil Nadu into a debate?
I again feel that the government of India is not telling the truth. They keep doing this whataboutery. Now, Trump on one side saying highest tariffs, on the other side saying by November, Piyush Goyal saying our relationship will be okay. So we don't know what is the truth. And then in terms of China, Xi Jinping clearly said that border issues will not be discussed. It will be, let us build it on trade and other issues. So here again, I feel we are being attacked by both. The Chinese part is bullying us as well as the United States of America is bullying us. That is because the foreign policy completely collapsed.
Important reason, the main reason Trump has announced his tariff is because India is continuing buying cheaper Russian crude oil. To whom does this benefit accrue to? Does it translate to lesser oil prices for the common man? No. Because it wants to reach the pockets of Mr. Ambani. Should the common man suffer?
Mr. Stalin, as the Chief Minister, would need to reflect whether saying something that undermines national interest, and that too in a sensitive period between India and the United States, would that be a correct approach? Because whatever be our politics, we are one nation, and in one nation our national interest comes supreme.
So, ladies and gentlemen, remember, tariffs are on India, not Gujarat or Tamil Nadu. So why is the India bloc turning against its own instead of targeting Trump? And that really is the legitimate question tonight, the Motorola legitimate question, where we are asking, is this now a new formula for dividing India? That's the question, and that's the debate on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining me on this show, Priyanka Kakkar, national chief spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. My friend Tehseen Poonawala joining the debate, supports the Congress Party. Sushant Sareen, senior analyst with the ORF, joining the debate tonight, and somebody who loves to love Trump and has a thing or two to say about Indian politics. But my first question goes to Salim Dharnidharan of the DMK. And Salim Dharnidharan, you're smiling. Why are you smiling? Number one, India is in trouble. India has a problem at its hand with the 50% tariffs, is a fact everybody recognizes. But why are you wanting to make this Tamil Nadu versus Gujarat? India has got 50% tariffs, and exports are affected not only in Tamil Nadu. It's an issue of worry for Tamil Nadu for sure, but just as it is for any other state in this country. Why make this also a parochial issue of South versus West or North or whatever you love to do best, Salim Dharnidharan?
See, it is not my chief minister or me, myself, nor my party that wants to divide or make it South versus North. If you look at my chief minister's article as recent as 2 weeks back to the Hindu, I clearly mentioned individual states should grow for the country to grow. But here, the question is why India alone has the highest tariff of 50%. Even Pakistan has a tariff of 19%. Why did the Prime Minister's foreign policy fail? Because of which exports to the US from Tiruppur have stopped. You now come and say ignore US, but US accounts to 26% of the global GDP, total GDP. And the same Prime Minister was the one who was saying, Abki baar Trump Sarkar, right? Abki baar Trump Sarkar. Who said it? The Prime Minister. Who encouraged it? Including your channel Times Now, saying how much Trump and our Prime Minister are friends. Now you are coming and saying, see, our Prime Minister is with China and Russia. Okay, Russia has always been our friend. But the question is, if there is a war between India and Pakistan, do you think China is going to take our side? No. Even the Galwan stand-up has not happened. So this is a clear foreign policy blunder. Now the second pertinent question, apart from the foreign policy blunder, is when the import of Russian oil has increased from 1% to 50%, right, of the total oil imported by India, and the ruble, the currency has reduced by more than half, and the barrel rate at which we are buying is 30-40% or 50% cheaper than the international market, and also from 2014 to 24, the Modi government has been having the advantage of low barrel prices. Why have their fuel prices increased in comparison to the UPA by 50 to 100%, and then this advantage has not been passed on? So why are this 50% being of Russian oil majorly being processed by one or two family-owned concerns located in Gujarat?
Salim Dharnidharan, I have an offer for you. Would you like to refine Russian oil in your home, in your backyard? If you want, I'm sure we can build a case for you to get some of that Russian oil so that you can refine it in your backyard. That could be possible. Gaurav Bhatia, can that not be made possible? Salim Dharnidharan is a friend of yours. Please allow him to refine oil so that it doesn't go to one or two people in the state of Gujarat. I mean, this logic only you can answer, Gaurav Bhatia. I've run out of arguments on this one. Gaurav Bhatia, the floor is yours.
The point. I would like to start by saying this, especially for the US, that Narendra Modi ji, during the recently concluded SCO summit, has shown to the world that India is one of the strongest nations in the world, and Narendra Modi ji appeared as the pivotal point of a new friendship between Russia, India and China. Let me also say this, Narendra Modi ji spoke every word which was in national interest. 1. 2. The statement was very well calibrated, because we can't blindly trust China, but at the same time, this is a new, front which is being made, and I think Narendra Modi ji is ensuring that India's interest is taken care of. But to the US, I would definitely like to say this, Navika. The loss is for the US, the gain is for India, because US needs India more than India needs US. And the reason is very simple. Fastest growing economy amongst the larger economy in the world, 4 trillion, fourth largest economy, and US is dependent on India. India wouldn't be dependent on the US because we have a huge market that is available, and that is the 140 crore population that we have. The US industry also needs it. तो हम उन्हें कह सकते हैं, उन्हें गुमान है कि मेरी उड़ान कम है, उन्हें गुमान है कि मेरी उड़ान कम है, मुझे यकीन है पूरा आसमान कम है. Having said that, the SCO was also an important platform for one more reason, Navika. We saw how terrorism was one of the main plans discussed by all the participating countries. And that is because Narendra Modi ji, in his 10-minute speech, mentioned terrorism at least 11 times. What does it say? It says that Pakistan being present there would be punished for being a rogue nation, and any nation that supports terrorism will also be condemned. So we all know there were certain nations who supported Pakistan during Operation Sindoor. The message was loud and clear to them also. Now, one very important aspect to the naysayers and people who are always pessimistic. How did the US media report the SCO summit? And I have, two quotes. One from Washington Post, which said Modi's attendance, in particular, his first visit to the country in 7 years, is a milestone in Beijing's attempt to mend ties with an influential US partner that has been alienated by Trump's tariffs. And 2, New York Times, Indian, Chinese and Russian leaders pledge cooperation in a message to Trump. So the message was loud and clear. India gained a lot. US lost its weight that it has always been proud of. And I think that is why some parties in India also are disturbed, because they want a weakened India so that their politics could flourish, and that is not happening. Now coming to the
right to counter. 30 seconds.
Quickly. 10 seconds. 10 seconds. 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think it's very funny. The same party which was appreciating Trump now ridicules Trump. My point is, Vietnam has a tariff of...
Can I just complete myself, my friend? Can I complete myself? Then you may comment. Please. 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
Please.
Please go ahead.
So, Selim, yes. I think you are a very well-informed spokesperson. You just mentioned India alone has been the sufferer with a 50% tariff. But you forgot Brazil. And this is because of BRICS. You know, BRICS, everyone is aware we are forging new alliances. US doesn't like it. They are more than willing to do whatever they have to. But India is strengthening its position in the global world. And second, don't create this North and South India divide, Gujarat and Tamil Nadu. Because you know your leaders have earlier said that North Indians come to Tamil Nadu to clean toilets. I think it is very derogatory, and such statements should not be made. We stand as one country, united. And that is the only way India will prosper.
Stalin Dharnidhar.
Thank you.
But on the contrary, ironically, Vietnam tariff is only 20%, South Korea is 15%, Pakistan is only 19%, Thailand 19%, Philippines 10%, Singapore 10%, Taiwan 10%, Sri Lanka 20%. In such a scenario, how will our exporters compete in international market? And US market is 20 to 30% of overall exports.
So Stalin Dharnidharan, I completely understand your angst. I completely understand the issue over here. Please, nobody here is saying that it is the ideal situation for India to be in. But please understand, with India doing the posturing that it is doing right now, which is not bending to America, is something that we need to do as a nation to keep our head held high. How can you now put the Russian oil pressure on the Indian government? And Tehseen Poonawala, that is my question to you. Russian oil kharid rahe ho, Tamil Nadu is now losing and Gujarat is benefiting. Is that an argument that any nation, a sovereign nation, should make internally? Or should everybody rally around and find out a solution to the problem that is facing us without dividing up our own country?
Thank you so much, Navika, for having me on the show. I'll answer your question specifically with data, and then I'll answer your question with one thing you started with. What should the nation do? Let me start with data. Western Tamil Nadu accounts for 40% of the apparel export of India. Over the next 1 year, Western Tamil Nadu and Tamil Nadu is slotted to lose 34,642 crore rupees and 30 lakh jobs. 3 million jobs, Navika. In the short term already, Western Tamil Nadu has lost 3,000 crore rupees. Now, Navika, I am absolutely pro-India. You know that I support my government on most issues. But Navika, a company connected to a private family is exporting oil and benefiting while thousands are losing jobs. If this oil was being imported by, say, HPCL, BPCL, and our fuel prices were coming down, that's not happening. Nor are we getting fuel cheap. We are paying more than what others, to the countries we export fuel to, we are paying more than that. On that 20% ethanol is mixed, so Nitin Gadkari's kids become rich. And then a private family is benefiting. Now, second thing, Navika, to answer your question. When the bromance was going on with Howdy Modi and Namaste Trump, we kept coming on your channel. I kept coming and saying, hey, Trump is not someone to be trusted. At that time, we were told, listen, for the country, you guys have to stand up. Today, when we are saying, we told you, so saying, listen, for the country, you have to be stand up. When will BJP take accountability that maybe the opposition is asking some questions? Who's asking you to throw Gujarat down the drain? But they gave a write-off to the gems industry.
Didn't you hear him?
I am for that.
Stalin is throwing Gujarat under. I put that fact out.
Just 10 seconds. 10 seconds. They gave Gujarat, the gems industry, a write-off. I am for that. Why can't you give it to Western Tamil Nadu? Just answer that question. Why should they?
Sushant Sareen, it's Tamil Nadu versus Gujarat and one family which probably was created in 2014 with its refining capacity. Please explain to the opposition.
That was created in 2005.
So, Navika, this is this is a complete kind of nonsensical kind of arguments which are being made. Look, number one, if a company, any company, imports oil and then exports it, because bulk of that oil is exported, and it's not just a private company, it's also public sector companies that are buying oil. If you're buying that oil and you are exporting it, the foreign exchange is not going to America, it's coming to India. That foreign exchange helps India to buy a whole lot of stuff which we need. Number one. Number two, and I completely understand, I agree that there are certain sectors in India which are going to suffer and are going to suffer a very heavy damage. Because, you have set markets, and if those disruptions take place, there will be a lot of pain, and to the extent possible, that pain can be reduced. But again, this nonsense about why haven't petrol prices been reduced? I can turn around and ask all the state governments, why are your taxes on petrol so high? You should reduce the taxes on petrol. Secondly, if the government has to do social welfare activity, it has to get money from somewhere. So yes, the prices, I personally believe, and I am of the view that if you raise prices when international oil prices rise, then you should give people a break when oil prices come down. But I can also understand the argument, which was precisely the argument which was being made during the UPA years, that you want to keep oil prices high, partly because you have taken loans when you were subsidizing oil and you need to pay off those. Secondly, you need to keep it high because you have other expenses which you will meet from this. Whether that is right or wrong, that is for politicians to decide how they want to tax the country. But the important thing is that, this thing that why the barrel oil price per barrel has come down. Yes, it has come down from what it was maybe a few years back, but the rupee has also depreciated. The rupee has depreciated, and therefore the price that you pay in Indian rupees is bound to go up. Now, the point is, either the politicians who are saying that the government should stop buying Russian oil and simply kowtow, lie prostrate before Donald Trump, kisses unmentionables, and suck it up. The people who are saying that should also tell us then they are okay with opening up the dairy, the agricultural sector, and some of the other sectors to American products or to any other Western product. Are we ready to do that? We are not ready. Right? So these guys are going to, play politics on this issue. They know that they are being disingenuous. There is an element to which I completely agree. The textile industry, not just in Tiruppur and Coimbatore, is going to suffer. It's going to suffer in Faridabad. It's going to suffer in Gurgaon. It's going to suffer in Delhi. It's going to suffer in a whole lot of other places.
Absolutely, and I can give you the numbers here. India's apparel export industry is worth $16 billion, and in Noida alone, the industry is about 50,000 crore. So, Priyanka Kakkarji, if 50,000 crore is at stake even in Noida, is there a difference that is being created between Tamil Nadu and Gujarat? And what about Noida? That's also part of India. Should we start making now export policies and foreign policies for every single state? Or should we look at the challenge that is confronting India at the moment and take a decision based on the current geopolitical situation? To keep saying that Punjab ke baare mein nahi socha, Tamil Nadu ke baare mein nahi socha, because these are opposition rule states, is this being disingenuous, as Sushant Sareen is saying? Because Noida, as the figures say, is equally affected.
Sure, Navika ji, we should think about the entire country, and the entire country is going to suffer with these 50% tariffs. Therefore, it is very imperative to see what did Modi ji, our Prime Minister, do in return, in counter to these tariffs that were imposed by the bully Trump. Firstly, he exempted the cotton duty, the duty on cotton imports from the US entirely. Zero taxes on imports from cotton from US. Resultantly, our farmer is going to suffer. The bully Trump imposed 50% on us, and we gave a zero import duty on his items in return. I do not agree with this. I don't know what was Modi ji thinking by doing this? Perhaps BJP spokesperson can answer. What I also don't understand is that जैसे सुशांत सरीन जी ने बताया, I'm glad that he clarified that. Now Sushant Sarinji mentioned that the Russian oil was bought not just by one individual, primarily by one individual, Modi ji's dost, but also by a few certain other PSUs. Now, as soon as Modi ji imposed, as soon as the bully Trump imposed this 50% taxation on us, the PSUs were banned from buying the Russian oil anymore, but not Modi ji's friend, which is very shocking to me. Worse is that the friend is exempted from now giving the windfall tax that he was making from the profit of the sale of the Russian oil in the international markets, which means our country, मेरे भारत को उस Russian oil से जो मुनाफा एक व्यक्ति कमा रहा है, उसका टैक्स भी नहीं देना। अब बताओ, ये नेगोशिएशन है। आप 9 साल से मेक इन इंडिया
serious charges being made by Priyanka Kakkar here. Gaurav Bhatia.
Let me finish. Navika ji, there's one more point I want to
So, first of all, let me make it very clear.
All right. The lady wants to make one last point. Gaurav Bhatia, 10 seconds.
Sure.
See, it is very important when he kept saying "Make in India" while wearing Bulgarica chashma and coming from getting off a BMW. Maybe he should promote Mahindra की कार, Mahindra से कार बनवा ले अपने लिए, promote India. Also, the second thing is that manufacturing dropped.
Are you saying that then you will not criticize that ये मोदी के दोस्त हैं जो कार बना रहे हैं और ये मोदी के दोस्त की कार है जिससे मोदी उतर रहे हैं, तब आप नहीं कहेंगे, एफिडेविट देंगी?
नहीं, मुझे प्रॉब्लम ये है कि सिर्फ 2 दोस्त नहीं, सब भारत के लोग हैं, भारत के लोगों को बढ़ाना है, सिर्फ 2 दोस्तों को नहीं बढ़ाना. That is my problem. I'm not against corporatization, but I'm against the fact there are only 2 people benefiting.
Yes.
One more. You interrupted me. I have not finished my point, but well.
Gaurav Bhatia.
Let her, Navika. I think she deserves it. Yeah. Should I? Yeah. If she has made her point one by one.
Thank you, Gaurav-ji.
So, Navika, the irony today is that the opposition is not just without an agenda. Rather, they are very confused. And let me tell you, speaking about the Congress, the Aam Aadmi Party, not so very long ago, what did they say? They said Modi ji has buckled under pressure and US, Donald Trump has dictated to India that please stop Operation Sindoor. And that is because India has to trade with US. But then now, we have seen that even Donald Trump is annoyed. And India is standing strong and it is taking every decision very well calibrated in the interest of the country. So it can't be both ways. Speaking about crude oil, it shows the determination of Narendra Modi ji, because we all know that US earlier wanted that India should not import crude oil from Russia. But since it was in the interest of the country, we continued to do so. For S-400, which became the major defense shield for India, the US wanted the same, but we procured it from Russia. Now, speaking about the crude oil, certain facts are not right, and I would give it, some numbers. Sushantji was very right when he said it's not only private entities that are importing crude oil. The PSUs, Indian Oil, Hindustan Petroleum, they have all placed orders. I'm talking about last month for 22 million barrels. And the only reason why they have cut down on the order size is because the price discount has come down lower. So I think when it is a free market regulated commodity in India, it is important that all companies, be it PSUs or private companies, they are free to take their decisions. But all crude oil that comes into India, if it results into revenue generation and forex, it is utilized for the benefit of our country, that they forget completely. Now, I want
absolutely,
to
and Salim Dharnidharan, that is the point. That oil is being imported by PSUs, so it's not meant for one friend of of Prime Minister Modi. It is oil that is coming, discounts that are coming, and these are decisions based on market condition. Salim Dharnidharan, Noida ke bare mein, would you want to say something, or North Indians not part of your agenda?
See, I am not like that. I am not like that. I think my chief minister is also not like that. My party is not like that. All Indian states should grow. That is our wish. But having said that, I want to make certain points. I've been listening for the last 15 minutes. So someone talked about Indian rupee also depreciating. But in comparison to Indian rupee, ruble has halved. Right? That is a point number one. And similarly, if actually UPI has borrowed money for oil bond, and if you're not able to repay, then the finance minister of this country should release a white paper saying how much was the debt then, what is the debt now, and where each of the money went then, where each of the money is going now. That is point. And again, you are saying because to safeguard the dairy sector, because to safeguard our industries, we are accepting the tariff from the US. But my point is, even the other countries, including China, where have not accepted for American dairy products to come, they are also getting it from Russia. But why only India faces 50% tariff when China is facing only 25% tariff? That is because this is clear case of foreign policy blunder. Why should the Indian citizens suffer?
Foreign policy blunder, I don't know, because the whole world is suffering from Trump's aftershock. And we did a short survey. Tamil Nadu suffers, Gujarat gains from tariffs. Talent desperate to divide is the question that we ask people. Yes, say 81%. No, say 13%. Can't say 6% of the people. So people do believe that this statement, I'm sure you have great love for the North Indians these days because there are elections in Bihar and MK Stalin was there sharing stage with Rahul Gandhi. But this is seasonal love that you have for North India, Salim Dharnidharan. Look at what people are saying. There is Raghul Nagarajan who says DMK always had a secessionist attitude. Sujit Tiwari says dividing in the name of language, religion and now region as well. This is what people think about you, but ladies and gentlemen, we leave it at that because even if India is not impressed, I'm going to be joined by Mr. Edward Price, Professor Edward Price of the New York University, who